Hello and welcome to another Wednesday webinar with Grand Canyon University's Canyon Professional Development. I am so excited to be here with Professor Sophia Zaft from our College of Arts and Media. Today, she's going to talk to us all about the power of social media, and I cannot tell you how much fun this is going to be. I can also tell you that she's an expert in so many ways because one of her students happens to be the behind the scenes everything for us here at Grand Canyon's Canyon Professional Development. So Taylor, who is the magic wizard behind all of the editing that goes on behind the Wednesday webinar, is here with us today. And so Taylor, I would love for you to say a little something about your professor before we get started.
It's like Professor Zaft definitely has had the most fun class I've ever taken on campus and the most practical class that I've ever taken on campus. By having all these skills that I've learned and then having all this on-the-job training, I think that I will be a real asset to the workforce.
And she already is. Thank you so much, Taylor, for jumping in. And Professor Zaft, I'm not sure you knew I was going to do that, but I want to let you know that her experience and skills in social media have just been incredible. And I want to thank you for that as well. So let's jump right into today's topic all about social media. By setting the stage for our learning, you have brought to us a quote and it has inspired you. Please let us know what this is all about.
Yeah, well, first off, I want to say, Taylor, you were too flattering, and grades were in.
how it really works, right? Yes, we're teachers here.
This quote says, "It's all about getting back to the human element of social," by Mary Smith. And I think that this is really important because a lot of times we lose sight that social media has two words, and it is not just media. Social media is equal part social and media. And what I think we're seeing a lot more of with both our students and our personal use is kind of that transition back to really focusing on connections.
I love it. I love that you just said connections, because I think a lot of teachers might think social media disconnects, but I absolutely believe in the connection in real life, in the world, and social media is just a part of that from what I can understand. So I'm thrilled to know where we're headed with your goals and objectives for us today.
Yeah, I think a lot of social media can disconnect people, and I think that as educators, we have a really nice opportunity to be the ones that help make it a positive experience where they are making good, positive connections. So we are going to talk about ways that we can do that, ways that we can use social media to not only connect, but also to help them learn. I also wanted to talk about career opportunities in social media. I'm excited about that one. And I want to share some tools with you that I think will be really helpful.
Oh my goodness. And careers, you say that, Professor Zaft, and I know several students who want to be a social media marketer or social media something, or a YouTube star. So we'll talk a little bit about influencing today. Yes?
Poquito, little bit.
Okay, fantastic. It's not all about me. I understand that for sure. But we will definitely, I am looking forward to figuring out how to connect, learn, talk about careers and tools. So off to you.
All right, well, let's talk about connecting with our students. As I had mentioned previously, it's really our opportunity to focus on that word social and using social media in the classroom as a means of connection. It's where our students are. It's how they inherently think. And so we have great opportunities. I think that all starts with some content. What's interesting about social media is this trend back to being more authentic and less curation, which I think is really important as educators when we approach social media. Nothing is this perfect curated life. Students are well aware of that, and making sure that we're focusing on authenticity is just such an important part of connecting with the students. Can I move on to E?
Absolutely. I'm just
Okay.
I'm in awe because I often think that students are trying not to be authentic when they take 17 pictures before they post something on social. But you keep going here. AE. Okay, we're on E.
So E, um, aesthetics matter. It is not enough to put a white PowerPoint on the screen and expect students to pay attention for an hour. Aesthetics are something that is important, not only to the generation that we're educating, it is important in the society that we live in. This is an aesthetically driven society. And I think we can see that even in our own life and materials. It matters what our resume looks like. It matters what our personal websites look like. So there's this focus on aesthetics, and it's important that if we want students to pay attention, we have to make content that we are showing on our screens both eye-catching and engaging. On that note, it's really, really a great opportunity to show and demonstrate things with your students in a way that they will connect. Get an HDMI cord that plugs straight from your phone right into the projector. There are so many cool apps and tips and tricks and things to show on the internet that just gives it a little bit more of an authentic feel. And also, as we know, browsers function so differently than our phones do, and our phones are almost always in hand. So it gives you the opportunity to just really demonstrate content, kind of how it is actually used.
Not to mention, you'll be cool if you're the teacher who plugs your phone in to the HDMI cable to show something on the big screen. Absolutely.
I'm going to move on to I
Please.
and our AEIO. Um, we really want to make sure that when we are teaching and we are thinking about how we can use social media, make it interactive. Give some sort of semi-immediate results. I think sometimes our gut instinct is to have students put down the phone and step away from the phone, and definitely at times they need to. But it's a nice little trick up your sleeve to have them pick up their phones. Plan things that allow them to be interactive on their phones. Plan things where they can, immediately make connections with the material. I think that it's just a really nice way to help them connect in ways that they like to connect.
I love that. I love that concept. Even Twitter, for example, you could talk to a physicist from, an observatory in real time. And that's something that's so powerful about social media. I digress. On trend.
No, I think that that's a great point. What we've been able to do, and I think what COVID really shoved us more into the direction of doing, is we have these amazing opportunities to connect with really cool professionals in whatever field you're teaching. It might be that, that NASA scientist or something. People are so willing to help, and social media is such an easy thing for them to be a part of. So don't be scared to drop a DM into somebody's inbox. Ask them if they will do a live, tweet session with you. Ask them if they, will hop on Zoom. So it's also a really great networking tool to help invite people into your classroom. So that's a great point.
Love it. I love it. And you just said drop a DM. So for those people who might not know what that means, that's a direct message. I've been around college students, so there it is. Tell us about On Trend.
Yeah, and I think I want to make it clear that I'm not asking you to do dances on TikTok.
Thank you.
But I will not ask that of you. And I promise, as much as your students love you, they probably don't want to see that anyway.
Well, they might, but yeah, you're right.
But pay attention to what is visually happening in the world. Ask your students what kinds of Instagram accounts that they follow. Add some of them. Take that opportunity to look at the world in the way that they are looking at the world. If you can make modifications to your materials or your lesson plans or your activities based on any trends that you're seeing or things that are really important in their lives, it's just a really easy way to keep tabs on that, and gives you some interesting insight to their perspective.
Well, I love it. So the AEIO, and I'm telling you, there might be a U and the O, there is. But it's, oh, I love the way you did that.
Yeah, so I just think it's a really nice opportunity to increase student success through connection and relationship building in a way that's meaningful for them. And what I mean by that is we know our students are actively engaged in social media a lot of the hours in their day. And I think that we can have better relationships with our students if we take the time as educators to connect with them in a way that they enjoy. Not all your students might want you to follow them, but for those who let you, it's so nice to be able to say, oh, Sally, I saw this weekend that it looks like, you got pizza with your friends. Tell me about that. So it's just a nice way to build that relationship.
I love it. I love it. And I think Instagram is an interesting way to do that. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so you can do a couple of kind of neat things. One thing that you can do is start a class-specific Instagram account. Your students are on Instagram, meet them where they are. Let them create content for it. Let them create content that they think is interesting and pair it with learning. You can post whatever content they have or think is relevant and mix it with content that you think is relevant. If you're learning about waterfalls, give me some pretty visuals. This also allows you to do things like create Instagram story flashcards. If you want them to learn something, it's really just easy for them to click through your stories. So take advantage of that. If they will watch your stories, put vocab in there, put maps in there, put charts in there. And it's a really nice way, again, just to kind of connect on their level.
That is fabulous. So you're saying if you have a class Instagram account, your students can create stories utilizing the content that you just taught. That's
Absolutely.
brilliant. Why are we not doing more of that? That's brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's really easy to just upload them, especially if you have iPhones. Your students can just airdrop you any material that they create, and you can pop it up on the account.
Do you ever have that situation where someone puts something inappropriate?
Never, because you're controlling the account. So they'll provide you with the materials that they have created, and you are in charge of putting the account together. That's going to be fun, bring connection, and be really useful to them.
Awesome.
I also wanted to talk about TikTok. TikTok is so fun, and it's such a cool opportunity for us to bring in that authenticity. Show your students who you are, what you're passionate about subject matter wise, and take advantage of mini lectures. Talk about vocab in a 1-minute TikTok. Talk about a concept in a way that is really digestible. So I think that that's a cool opportunity.
And so many people are afraid of TikTok, though. They're afraid of TikTok. So is there anything that we need to know as educators, like why not TikTok?
No, don't be afraid of TikTok. It is a really nice tool that a good chunk of our students are on, and as much fun as it can be to, dances or, I don't know, mix Skittles with popcorn. There's some real opportunity for learning there. There are, it's really rich with information. So be a part of it.
I love it. And a 1-minute mini lecture, boy, wouldn't that teach us teachers how to really hone in on what's truly important? Boy, that's really exciting. Keep going, keep going. I'm thrilled.
I have the app Be Real up here because, again, I think it speaks to that authenticity. It's one that is really gaining popularity, And this app doesn't have any filters. It doesn't allow you to see content until you post content. So again, it's that shift from kind of that less curated life to a more authentic life. And I have this up here because I also think it's a really nice insight into people's lives and the way they live, and, you know, a digital age point of view. So I think it can be really valuable for educators.
Fascinating. I don't know that many educators know about that yet, so that's
Yeah.
great.
It's a fun one. Finally, dig into personal brands. Again, back to that authenticity. Be who you are and pull in that E. Make it eye-catching. Make, you know, dig into your personal brand. Show people who you are. Be consistent about it. Again, this is an aesthetically driven society. So figure out who you are, what that looks like visually, and spread it throughout the digital world. It just, again, helps make that visual connection, which can be really powerful for learning.
And your personal brand, that's, I mean, that's going to follow you, especially now. I mean, people are looking at LinkedIn, they're looking at Instagram, they're looking at your accounts to see whether or not they want to hire you. So you really should be considering your personal brand, even in the school, right? I mean, your school, your brand tells a story about the school and the culture that you're a part of. So that is just that is excellent advice. I don't know that we all know how to do it well as educators, but I absolutely think it's excellent advice. So moving into marketing ourselves as teachers in a school, in a classroom, you know, I know people are always looking at us, right? Whether we want them to or not, you know, we're being judged and on social media. So marketing, why social media marketing?
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly add to, just with personal branding. You know, it also reminds your students and your parents that teachers are people too, all outside of their job. So that's a really nice touch too, that helps you build connection. Social media is a lot more than just a personal brand or aesthetics or posting things on Instagram or TikTok. It is an entire career field that is amazing and vibrant. I think that what happens a lot of times, parents have this kind of gut reaction to say, you know, no, I'm not sending my student to college to be a social media major. Like, it's, you know, I don't want them being an influencer. This is not a college degree in being an influencer. Will they have the skills to do it? Should their heart be set on it? Absolutely. But this social media graduate is amazing. They are adept in social and digital media. They can market, they can do advertising. They have a foundation of public relations. They know their way around graphic design. They have a nice design eye for aesthetics. So these are just incredibly powerful graduates that are going to really change, I think, the job market once they're all in there.
Hey, Taylor is working for our company as a social media marketing and communications expert. And truly, it's more communications, right? How good of a communicator are you? And you mentioned earlier about connection, right? We want people to be able to connect with our brand. And so, yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunity. And I see this. The stats are amazing. 9% increase in job growth in 10-year period. Do I read that right, Professor Zav? 1357. That's 1,357% increase in social media positions.
Yeah, you know, I think what's so interesting about that is everybody knows about marketing. Everybody thinks, oh yeah, you know, let's go get a degree in marketing. And degrees in marketing are amazing. I think we really associate that as a solid career field. It's interesting to note that digital marketing opportunities, which include social media, have grown about 30% faster than other marketing positions. So, you know, when we look at trending occupations, when we look at where the opportunity for employment is, it's really on that digital side. So having these skills just makes these really employable graduates.
Well, not to mention, and I want you to go move forward with this, but I have to say that you could be a remote worker. Like you don't have to live, you can live in LA and, by the beach, but work in Kansas, right? I mean, that's also a plus for digital marketing, I would think.
Yeah, again, COVID kind of gave that kick. A lot of companies have loosened up their ideas about bottoms and seats. And it's so beneficial to them because they have such a bigger job pool to pull skill from. So yes, there are so many good remote positions. And, from an employer side, that's just such a positive because you aren't looking at just your small job market.
Well, and I'm looking at this on the very bottom here. Digital marketing skills can yield around $7,000 salary premium compared to other marketing roles. Talk to me about that. And I know that you're a professor at the college level, so these students of yours are moving right on out into the workforce. So what have you heard? Is that true? Are they getting these salary bumps?
Yeah, they are finding jobs. The jobs are out there. They are, I have to tell you this story because I feel like all educators can relate to this. We just had a graduate from our college and from our department that graduated in the spring, took a job, and now makes more than I do.
And that's not hard to do with our K-12 teachers. And it's unfortunate in many ways, but at the same time, that's the demand is what we're trying to say,
Yes,
right?
the demand is there. And especially with this kind of hybrid jack of all trades students, again, when you're an employer, if you can hire this one student versus somebody to do graphic design, somebody to work on your website, somebody to do X, Y, and Z, this student is it, and it's worth the money. So it's really worth the premium.
Fantastic. Okay, you're talking about it's worth it. So tell us about some of these tools or tips that you've got for us.
Yeah, I think everyone's pretty familiar with Canva, but I just wanted to throw in there that Canva Pro is really, really worth the money. When it comes to reformatting things for social media or repurposing your class materials to being able to easily pop them on social media, it just makes it so quick. It's worth the cash. Same thing with Lightroom, a subscription to Lightroom. You're going to have those additional features that when you're focusing on visuals allow you to really do a much better job.
I love it. And Lightroom is an Adobe product, is that right?
It is. It is. And you can pull out just a separate subscription for Lightroom only, which is nice as well.
That is so cool.
I wanted to point out the app Colin. It's kind of a fun app and it's free, and it's a really nice place to put material for your auditory learners. You can create kind of episodes with lectures or different materials, and it's kind of fun. And then I just wanted to put out some aesthetic websites that I think will really help you kind of step your game up in the aesthetics department.
So that's the AE, the eye catching, the aesthetics department,
yes,
right?
make it eye-catching, and it's worth it. You can get eyeballs for longer.
And that's the name of the game, getting the eyeballs for longer. So I see that we're going to do a slight demonstration here with Chroma, but scribbles.design, is that similar? That's an eye catcher as well?
Yeah, Scribbles is fun. It allows you, again, to kind of create some of those personal brand elements that is just really simple and kind of fun. Again, it's going to up your aesthetics. And the final website has just loads and loads of free fonts. So when we look at personal branding, and think of personal as in your class, your History 101 class can have a totally different personality than your History, 305 class. So brand your classes, give them a vibe. And things like a font finder will help you do that.
I love it. Give your classes a vibe. Well, let's talk a little bit about Chroma. This is a tool that you just showed me recently. I'm already hooked. Tell me why I need to have Chroma in my life as an educator.
Yeah, Chroma's free. It's really simple. And it's going to help you if you don't have that design eye to kind of put it together for you. It allows you to select colors that you like. There's just loads of them. You can kind of go through, you select 50 colors that really speak to your soul. And it'll pop out color palettes for you, which is color palettes it's a hard skill to do. It sounds pretty easy, but it's not.
No, it's not, because I tell you, I'll pick out like certain colors and they don't go together. It's kind of like cooking. Like you have to know what spices go together. So I love it when somebody else tells me what spices go together.
Yeah, it takes that color wheel and manipulates it in a way that is going to give you a product that you like.
This is so cool. So earlier, folks, I went ahead and picked my 50 colors, and Chroma created my palette, I guess you'd call it, right? My color palette, something that really speaks to me. And what I absolutely love about this is I can, this palette here, they've got a dark purple kind of on a greenish color, and I can swap the colors. Professor Zaft showed me how to do that behind the scenes, folks. And then I can see what the flip looks like. And here, tell us about the information. Obviously I can like this color, but here's the information. What's this? Why is this so important in a social media world?
You can pop the hex right off of this and pop it into Canva. So it's really, again, just that nice way to put together a really eye-catching and pleasing aesthetic for your materials. If you go that just little extra step, again, to kind of create that vibe and make it pretty, you'll get eyes longer. So it's worth the tiny bit of effort.
Folks, you heard it here first. Go the extra step, right? Make it pretty. And it does pay off. I know it does, based on what we do here at Canyon Professional Development. I mean, even this slide right here was very purposefully made, intentionally made, with the colors that represent, Grand Canyon University, for example. So I have to say, I have taken away so much from this very brief but very informative kind of mini lecture on social media. I appreciate so much that you have been the expert. And what I took away, folks, was AEIOU, and you being the most important, because I think what I heard you say was connection, and making it eye-catching, for example, connects with your audience, allowing it, your students to create an Instagram story utilizing the content that I taught in class. I mean, heck, how much more fun is that than, okay, students, here's the next worksheet. I'm blown away by that. I don't know why I did not do that prior. I think it's because I had social media in my personal life, but I didn't always bleed it over into the classroom, didn't know how. Professor Zaft, can they hit you up on Instagram or another social media platform?
Absolutely. so.social.sophia on Instagram.
Thank you so much for being with us today. Folks, we do not take any of this lightly. Our why is to empower, educate, and inspire you, our community, so that you take action to fulfill your purpose and to serve others. We thank you for your expertise, Professor Zaft, and we are so excited that you are here at Grand Canyon University teaching in the College of Arts and Media. And students, we have a GCU live lesson in social media coming soon, so we can't wait for y'all to have that experience in your high school classroom, if that works for you. Either way, definitely check out the show notes today so that you too can be more adept at social media and use it to your advantage as an educator. Don't forget to subscribe now for more free PD. And Professor Zaft, thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me.